Hi guys, Effie here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card using our Simple Florals stamp set. As you can see, my storage system is not the neatest, but it works for me. Anyway, for today's card, I used a partial spotlight die cutting technique. And what I mean by this is that I stamped an image and then I die cut some shapes in that image, and I only used those shapes that have the stamped images inside them. I don't use the background image from which I die cut the shapes from. Now I'm just lining up some stamps, some of the stamps on acrylic blocks. I like to do this when I'm stamping multiple images at once because I just like to have them on hand, especially when I'm working with a bunch of different inks. It just makes it a lot easier to have the stamps ready on acrylic blocks. So I'm going to stamp my first floral in Simon Says dye ink in Doll Pink. This is a gorgeous bright pink ink. I just recently got all of the Simon Says stamp dye inks and I really like them. They come in a lot of different colors and they stamp very crisply and very evenly. So I am really happy that I got all 39 inks when they were having a really great sale a few weeks ago. So I stamped the second floral in Hero Arts Bubblegum. The third floral, the solid floral that you see here, I stamped that in Simon Says Cotton Candy. And the fourth floral I stamped in My Favorite Things Razzleberry. So I just continued to stamp the different florals in the four inks that I just mentioned. I alternated between the solid florals and the line florals. And I alternated between the four different inks. Now this is going to create some variety in your partial spotlight die cuts. For this technique I'm using my Mama Elephant letter dies, and here I'm just trying to position the placement of the dies because I want to make sure that I place the dies over different areas of my stamped image because I want to make sure that the letters that I use on my card have different colors or the different shades of pink and solid and the lined images. I want to make sure that there's some variety in my spotlight die cutting because it would just be boring if it was one color. As you can see, I stamped a whole line of florals, but I'm going to save this cardstock for a later card that I can use if I want to use this technique again later on, which I probably will because I was very happy with the results of this card. Next, I'm just going to take a piece of light pink cardstock and die cut the word hello 3 times because I want to create my own letter embellishments. And by using the pink colored cardstock to create the embellishments, it's going to create a nice pink hue when you look at the card from the side. Next, I'm just layering the different die cut letters over each other to create the embellishment. I am adhering each layer with a Ranger Multi-Matte Medium. It's just kind of a glue or an adhesive that dries with a matte finish, so it doesn't leave any sticky residue, it doesn't leave any shiny residue. Once I finish layering the light pink layers, I then adhere the spotlight die cuts on top of the pink cardstock layers. This was the most labor-intensive portion of this card, but at the end it is worth it because the effect that it creates is so pretty, and I think you won't be disappointed when you try this technique out. Next, I die cut 2 panels using Lawn Fawn's large stitch rectangle stackables. I used the 4.5 by 3.25 rectangle, and then the next size down, which it was the 3.5 by 2.25 rectangle. I took the larger of the two panels. This is going to be used as my background panel. I stamped the different florals using the same 4 inks that I mentioned earlier. Again, I'm just alternating the solid and the line florals from the Simple Floral set. I'm also alternating between the 2 sizes of the floral stamps in this set because this set comes with the same floral in a lined and a solid version, but it also comes in 2 different sizes. This background panel is going to be partially covered by matting, and also on top of the matting is going to be the smaller stitched rectangle that we die cut earlier. Here I'm just lining up the die cut letters using a ruler. This helps with making sure that the sentiment will be straight on your panel. Next, I'm just going to glue down my letter embellishments, starting with the first L in the sentiment because it is in the middle of the sentiment. I'm going to start from the middle and work my way out. This is going to ensure that my sentiment is centered and straight. Next, I'm going to create a mat which will go behind my smaller stitched rectangle. I'm going to use the same light pink cardstock that I used for the embellishments. Now you guys are going to hate me, but I actually forgot to record the portion of the video where I adhere all the panels together. I swear one day I will make one complete video from start to finish with no missing segments. But until then, please bear with me. For the last step, I'm going to stamp the back of this card with our underwear drawer set, which is just a sentiment that you made this card by hand and you're telling the recipient of the card to never ever throw this card away because it is not a crappy store-bought card. Here is the final card. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and I hope you enjoyed my take on spotlight die cutting.